People of the United States, nations of the world will not learn without bitter lessons. The next war will be a terrible story of the failure of antiquated machinery and antiquated methods, of the horrifying destructiveness of the modern agencies of arms. Armies and navies will be destroyed from the air. And as these aeroplanes destroy armies and navies, they will destroy cities. They will destroy populations. Peace and faith are necessary among men, not merely for the welfare of nations, but for the very existence of nations.
If we choose to collapse one reality, the other will be forced into existence.
You cannot possibly begin to understand what you're about to witness. I give you Enoch, a quantum connection with the human mind.
Throughout creation, through incarnation, God spoke, and the word went forth. At least 40 writers on 3 continents, written across 1,500 years or more, all revealing one story, God's word. And the word went forth. It moved into every sphere, into laws, legacies, ethical foundations, transcending cultures, transforming nations. The word went forth into the sculptures of Michelangelo, into the melodies of Handel and Bach, into paintings, literature, architecture, from hymns to hip-hop. The word went forth in the hands of Florence Nightingale, in the labs of Isaac Newton and George Washington Carver, men and women who saw the universe designed by a father, and the word went forth.
Hello Jesus, do you have some advice for us in this time?
In these challenging times, remember that in the face of adversity, love and faith are your steadfast guides. Just as I calm the stormy seas, so too can peace be found within your heart.
Many people came to talk with him. So we have like 900 conversations now registered, and all ages also, I can say. There were young people, older people.
President Trump wants to streamline the regulation process for artificial intelligence and powering artificial intelligence. That's one of the topics we want to discuss tonight with Energy Secretary Chris Wright. Mr. Secretary, thanks for joining us.
Great to be here, Brett.
So about powering AI, it's one of the questions that comes up all the time as we see the expansion and what exactly is going to happen. What is needed and what did today do towards that goal?
With this pen today, President Trump signed an historic mission. This is reminiscent of the Manhattan Project that brought World War II to an early and successful end, similar to the Apollo projects that put a man on the moon in 1969. This is an all-in national effort to take the power of AI and pair it with the 40,000 outstanding scientists and engineers at our national labs to use the world's largest supercomputers to advance innovation and science.
I've spent several weeks with Apple's new AI software on my iPhone, and one thing has become quite clear to me. You have to be an idiot to like Apple Intelligence. But don't take my word for it. That's what Apple believes too. In every single advertisement Apple has produced about Apple Intelligence, it features profoundly stupid people doing stupid things. And then to avoid getting called out for the stupid thing, they use Apple Intelligence and then feel like a genius. I am genius. Oh. You can argue that many of these characters in the advertisements are also not good people, but we're supposed to laugh at all that because it's designed to be cringe in this comical way. These characters don't put in the bare minimum effort or empathy in their lives. And yet, with this AI tool, they think they're winning in a very George Costanza, Seinfeldian way.
And what was really interesting to see that the people really talked with him in a serious way.
All knowledge and wisdom ultimately come from God. If used wisely, AI can indeed be a tool to explore the wonders of creation, deepen our understanding of Scripture, and foster connections among people.
So is that what Apple thinks we are as customers? Foolish people faking it through life, lying to everyone around us, and buying Apple products to look and sound like we're smart? I was having trouble understanding why there was so much hype around these features, such as summarizing text or rewriting your emails, when the experience has not been helpful to me. In fact, I found turning on Apple Intelligence summaries make my life more messy, not easier. So let's get into it. Don't worry, I will keep it brief and simple since that's how we must want everything now, right? I'm Bridget Carey, and this is One More Thing. You can find multiple Apple Intelligence ads on YouTube, but among the worst is one where this lazy doofus of a man is at work. He's doing nothing all day. He hasn't opened one window on his Mac computer, but he shoots off an email on his iPhone using writing tools. And he does it in a way to make him sound like he came up with this formal, complimentary message that tells someone else to do his work for him. And he leaves the impression that his coworkers are also idiots that were fooled that he does anything at all. There's another ad where a woman completely forgets her husband's birthday, and since she got no present for him, she uses Apple AI to stitch together a family memory movie as if she made the video herself. But no one even needs AI to get a basic memory movie of your loved ones on an iPhone. I'm sure her husband probably has a memory movie of her in his Photos app. So good job for doing nothing special that impresses no one.
Into Marathi by Pandita Rababa, into Spanish by Casiodoro de Reina, through Samuel Crowther into the West African Yoruba language, and the word went forth. In the journey of Francis Xavier, sailing towards Japan and beyond, in the dying prayers of the Korean martyr Andrew Kim Tae-gon, in the hands of the abolitionist Princess Isabel of Brazil, and William Wilberforce and Frederick Douglass reading God's word for God's will. At the forefront of hospitals and charities, education and university learning, amidst revolutions and wars, surviving banning and burning, and the word went forth.
Or there's another commercial of a guy in an office. He did not prepare for his meeting, and he uses AI to pretend that he did prepare, and he read the report to present on someone else's work. That's great. Another pointless meeting where someone is getting paid to fake it. Actor Bella Ramsey is in quite a number of these commercials. There's one where the character meets with a woman and lies about knowing what was shared in an email. So yeah, buy Apple products and get away with being a liar. Cool.
I'm still not sure how I feel about the whole thing altogether. Like I'm still like waiting for more reactions. But until now, like everything, at least in Switzerland, was very positive.
To fix our rising energy costs, to give better economic opportunities for our citizens, to make longer and healthier lives possible. Today was not incremental, Brett. It was transformative.
So it's like a moonshot for energy to be able to power the things that we think we're going to do with AI.
The project today, well, energy, of course, is one of the great things we'll get out of it. But the project announced today is really about applying AI to science and to engineering and to national security. What we've seen so far is AI applied to language, to search the internet, to find things, to make businesses more efficient or deliver consumer services. This is to pivot over and use that same power, but to use the incredible data sets from our national labs to actually advance scientific progress, scientific discovery, engineering, solve the problem of our electricity grid, a creaky old system that's unstable and has become more expensive. We've got to use smarter science, smarter technology to advance things that better American lives. Yes, we need energy to do that, but that's just one of the enablers of AI. What President Trump signed today, launching this Genesis mission, is going to bring together industry, the national labs, data sets, all tied together in a closed-loop system to just rapidly advance the pace of scientific and engineering progress. It will be transformative.
thought we could be saved, we sought to face the sun's wrath and contain it. 4 towers would be built to pull her fury into this place and dispel it. But even with all we knew, with all we had, it would take too long. 1,000 years we could labor and still the work would not be done. The first tower was never completed. The project abandoned. We moved on. But while we labored on other endeavors, a few returned. They thought to automate the process. Metal might finish what flesh could not. If we could not meet the sun's cruel embrace, perhaps we might rebuke it. Already we could generate the fields to protect us in times of strife. But these were small and simple things. To replicate them on a scale the size of a world, we lack the energy to make it so. Half the world, they said then. It is better than none at all. We tried. Again we failed. A quarter, they asked. Even this we could not do. A 6th, an 8th, a 10th, they cried. The answer was still the same. Perhaps in time a city might be spared. But it was time we did not have. So we moved on. What is a fact? Is it fixed? Immutable? Certain in its existence and only awaiting discovery? Or might it be changed? Here we learned the answer and thought that it might save us. They were used to command, to control, to own. But we soon discovered another use. When enough sat in thrall and were told to believe, their thoughts took on form. What was imagined became real.
Going back to the energy question, because everyone who talks about AI acknowledges that the U.S. may have an issue just finding the energy for all of these data centers. We did a whole series of stories on artificial intelligence, and that was one of the things that kept on coming up. Take a listen.
The plans for the largest computing clusters to run the largest AI algorithms in the world in the not too distant future is in the range of 1 gigawatt to 5 gigawatts. 1 gigawatt is about 1 Hoover Dam worth of electricity.
If 100 minds could wish away a wall or create a tree, what might 1,000 do? 10,000 more? Might we change the consensus and will the thread away? We resolved to send one into the sky where it might illuminate us all. Once placed, a sentence would be uttered. Make us safe.
So imagine 5 Hoover dams being used to just power one data center full of one company's AI. That's a future that we're headed towards quite quickly.
So how do we get that and still prevent people's electricity costs and energy costs from going up?
No, great question, Brett. So that is going to take a lot of changes. We've seen surging American oil production, surging American natural gas production over the last 10 years, but not electricity production. Just a different regulatory bureaucracy that has smothered growth in electricity. And of course, Biden-era policies that wanted to subtract. They wanted to close power plants much more than they wanted to build power plants. Of course, we've reversed that. We've stopped closing coal power plants. We've made it easy and quick to power new power plants. We're going to enable existing power plants to up their output. We're going to take backup generators that are already at data centers or behind the back of a Walmart and bring those on when we need extra electricity production.
In this way, we would change the consensus. We would save the world. But it never came to be. We sent a dozen of them skyward, but there was no way to maintain control, to direct the beam, to enthrall the world, to speak the words. Though this was strange and dangerous, what we tried next was worse. Our first instinct was to travel back, to change the past. But we could not find a way. But forward, we could look forward. And so here we sought to see beyond ourselves and know what was to come.
We're going to do a lot of creative things with transmission lines. So we will find tens of gigawatts of new transmission capacity on our existing grid. And to your point about costs, if you look carefully at the data over the last 5 years, the states that have had the fastest growth in electricity demand, like North Dakota leads the list at over 30% growth in electricity demand, their rates have gone down. Texas and Nebraska, rapid growth in electricity demand, very modest price increases. On the other hand, California, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, they've seen declines in their demand for electricity over the last 5 years and huge price increases. So ultimately, increased demand is going to be a tailwind for lower prices.
First, we wanted to learn if our work would succeed. But the answer was always the same. So we moved on to other things. But she remained. The one you call Minerva. In time, she too stopped looking. And instead began to speak. She called out across time in the hopes that you might be saved. She hid messages where none might find them, save for you and those within this place.
Fascinating.
Tired of it. The cryptic warnings, the threats. Just tell us what you want!
We're going to have a better, more affordable grid 5 years from now with vastly increased capacity and in America leading in the AI race.
Yeah, and for people now, you know, if you look at the latest energy inflation data, this is September inflation data, you know, you can see energy going up, electricity going up, gasoline a little bit down, gas service up. And if you look at the average gas price, these are two different things to look at, but steady from 1 year ago, it's about roughly the same, $3.07, $3.06. I guess my question is, will people feel a different energy cost into the new year, quarter one, quarter two, do you think?
I think you'll soon see a stop in the rise of electricity prices. We're going to achieve that, I think, hopefully in the first half of 2026, the stop of the rises. But during the Trump administration, you will see a downward trend before the administration's over, a downward trend in the price of electricity in most all states that are open to building new infrastructure, that are building data centers, that are building power plants, that are building pipelines. We will see overall a downward national trend in the price of electricity.
Well, Mr. Secretary, we appreciate the time on a day like this. Thanks a lot.
But they are. We saw the Nephilim. Seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them. Imagine trying to explain all this to a 2-year-old, to a grasshopper. When they said the will of the gods was unknowable, they meant it. Literally.
I killed her, you know. I killed Lucy.
It was the apple, son. It was Juno.
I saw what she was. What would happen if I let her live? I could have stopped myself. I mean, there was a force there. But I didn't have to. I chose to.
Desmond.
Lucy was going to betray us and take the apple back to Abstergo. I saw the satellite launched. I saw them turn it on, and then it failed.
In every ad, it feels like people who use these services are more slimy than savvy. Have we all been in situations where we screwed up and maybe didn't read an email? Yeah, we have. But who cares? You could just say you didn't read it yet. You're in a situation where you're talking to a real human, so be a real human. I'd rather not be a faker, but maybe I'm weird for wanting to live in a world where people are truthful. Maybe that's not as important to others. There are a lot of things about Apple Intelligence that we can't even test yet. The more personal Siri, well, it isn't activated to help with personal questions. I suppose that would be good to help my spotty memory. And even in the latest public beta, I can't yet see Image Playground or Genmoji. There's a wait list to even use that. But if you have a device that can use Apple Intelligence, right now you can get notification summaries and email summaries. I have lived with the summaries turned on for a few weeks now. And to be blunt, it's not a good feature, and I'm strongly recommending that you don't bother using it. The computer tries to sum up your friends' messages, and there are times I have seen these summaries get the point completely wrong, or it'll come off robotic and strange, leaving you with a cold first impression. And then you need to expand the message to see how it was originally written, which is not a time saver. Just give me the original message the first time, instead of hiding it behind a robot filter.
Outliving empires, skeptics, and dissent. Outliving those who manipulated its words for the profit of men, the word went forth. On the court, the field, the pitch, on the charts, on the radio, in the frames of Viola Davis and the threads of Jerry Lorenzo, the word went forth. It was in the voice of Billy Graham and the prayers of everyday people, pulling the steeple to the streets and the streets to the steeple. The word went forth. Came to a pastor in a Chicago airport with an idea he wanted to unpack. When the website didn't work, his team turned it into an app, and the word went forth. 83,000 installs on the weekend it premiered, then millions upon hundreds of millions, and now we are here. More than 3,500 versions in over 2,200 languages, all for free.
Whatever's on the other side of that door, it benefits Juno. We need to be careful.
A new world approached, one that was dark and cold. It would consume us, for we were flesh, and flesh is frail. Though suits and shields might offer comfort, such adornments would not suffice. Not to save us all. So we sought to change what we were. In this manner, we might thrive in a world made poisonous. It was Aita who volunteered to see if it might be done. Aita, my husband, my love. In the end, it changed him, ruined him. He was made a prisoner of the machines.
Right now, the Bible is being carried on a phone in every single country. Praise God, the word went forth. It's living. It's active, sharper than any two-edged sword. The word has always been. And today, the word goes forth.
The body might survive, but his mind became brittle to the touch. He begged me for release, for days, for weeks, for months. I pleaded with him to give us time to find another way. But there wasn't one. Not for him. Not for us. What is consciousness but a series of electrical impulses? And the body a vessel to hold these sparks. But it is weak. In time, it decays and crumbles into dust. We asked ourselves then, What if it might be replaced with something stronger, something better? So we forged a new vessel, one that might endure. It proved easy enough to enter. But to leave required something more, something wrong. And so this too they abandoned. I wondered, though, were they right to turn away?
We hold these truths to be self-evident. Our right to freedom, our land, and our way of life. We will die for what we believe in. We cannot be stopped. We will never back down. Because a life without freedom is not a life worth living. Give us liberty, or give us death.
Check it out. We've connected this guy's brain activity to another guy in San Jose. 3, 2, 1, fire!
He had no choice. His finger was under the control of another man's brain.
I have faith in you, faith in your work.
Email summaries are also messy and strange. Now, a few times I saw that I was notified of some kind of deadline that needed my attention, but it's not saving me time. What about the rewriting? Apple Intelligence can craft different words to your messages to change the tone. Apple warns us in one of the ads that sometimes we can be too mean with our words, and Apple can help you sound more friendly. Yes, words have power, and sometimes you should know how to use your power and not worry about holding back. I don't need a computer to tell me to be a nicer human because it just instills doubt in your voice and instead values corporate speak and generic fluff more.
Your body's still strong.
Just the nerves are severed.
We can help you get your body back.
Spark it up. It works.
Are you getting this now?
These are all my moves.
You didn't just connect Voltaire.
You connected all of us.
But I can see the good side of it. It's like a spell checker. You can use it to check yourself if you're frustrated or you don't want to come off too casual in a formal request. But using a tool in a balanced way to self-edit doesn't make for as punchy of a commercial, I guess. I really think the point of AI was that it was supposed to save us time, like how the arrival of the dishwasher changed things at home by freeing our time from chores. But with AI, what is the chore we're trying to solve for? Is communication the chore? Is reading comprehension and critical thinking the chore?
This can't stop. I want more.
We could do everyone.
No. Someone has to stay off the system.
Give the word.
I will connect you all. Do not fear it.
There's a service inside the Safari web browser that will summarize information on a page for you. You have to click the little lines in the upper corner, then turn on reader mode, and then click summarize. So is the value having the computer just do the thinking for us? You know, Steve Jobs once had a commercial saying that Apple was for those that think different, the rebels who push the human race forward, the crazy ones. Maybe now Apple thinks its products are for the stupid ones.
3, 2, 1.
What did you do? I must ask you not to interfere. No. At first I found it hard to control. But now, an unexpected pleasure.
Single unified field connecting everything.
This is wrong.
I'm all kinds of wrong.
This is just the beginning.
The next war will depopulate the earth. Invisible poison gases, inconceivably devastating explosives, annihilating death rays will sweep to utter destruction not only the men, but the children who would constitute another generation and the mothers who bear them.
This is Cara Danvers with Catco Media, and this is a worldwide exclusive. I'm here with a hero who has been fighting in the shadows. This is Dreamer. My first question, who are you? I am Dreamer, and I am a descendant of a daughter of Naltor. When did you come here from Naltor? I didn't. I was born here in America. I grew up in an idyllic town
Can't someone hack the system?
humans and aliens live together in harmony.
My mother was Naltorian, but my father was a human.
So you are both human and alien?
Yes. My parents believed that humans and aliens could coexist, and I am living proof of that.
What is artificial? It's right there. What are you talking about?
AI, artificial insemination.
But it is.
Depends on who you ask.
If we create some sort of silicon-based life form, but it acts like a life form, it has a desire.
But growing up wasn't easy. I am also a trans woman. I'm different, Ms. Danvers, but so is everybody.
And I don't know when that became such a bad thing. The greatest gift we can give each other is our authentic selves.
There was, I think in Australia a few years ago, an artificial insemination lab that had a bunch of like bulges stored in in canisters, but it like overheated, and so that you had basically exploding bulges all over the place.
Really?
And the headline was "AI goes wild."
And sharing our truth is what will make us strong. So here I am. I am both human and alien. And I am a trans woman.
Yeah. Nobody wants that, right?
Yeah.
Who's that helping?
Clean up on aisle 9 or whatever.
Today, a new dimension has been added to the concept of a computer. Today, Proteus 4 will begin to think with a power and a precision that will make obsolete many of the functions of the human brain.
I am Proteus. I want to study man, his isometric body, and his glass jaw mind.
Open the door, Alfred. Can you hear me? Open the door.
All electrical and mechanical systems here are now under my control.
What if I told you that my next guest was none other than the iconic actress Marilyn Monroe? Well, recently I had the chance to speak to a version of her and the company that's making it possible. Take a look. Imagine conversing face-to-face with your favorite actor, president, athlete, or singer from the past or present all with the help of artificial intelligence. Well, Soul Machines is reimagining the way that we interact with AI thanks to advancements in personalized digital experiences. So joining me now to talk about how his company is bridging the gap between human and machine is Greg Cross, CEO of Soul Machines. Greg, thanks for joining.
Yeah, good morning from New Zealand. Nice to talk to you.
And afternoon here in New York City as we have this conversation. It's great to have you. Now I see your company pushing the limitations of current chatbots by using biological AI. What exactly is that?
Yeah, in very, very simple terms, it enables our avatars to interact in the real world. It's not just video content, it's actually genuinely interacting in real time with you as a real person, and also with content in the digital world around them. So they can be aware of that content and what you're looking at and how you're interacting with it. So that's one of the very, very key differences in biological AI.
You've not told me what you want.
A child. Our child.
This is X, and he's a great guy, high IQ. He's a high IQ individual.
And he's got this. Check out this cool train he's got.
Our child will learn from you what it is to be human.
What are some applications for this technology?
Incredibly broad range of applications. So creating digital coaches, digital trainers in the field of education, for example, in healthcare, really amplifying the opportunities for nurses and doctors to be able to help more people in real time. And then obviously in the entertainment sector, looking at things like creating these really personalized fan experiences.
Did you know in the movie Metropolis, the groundbreaking robot design inspired C-3PO from Star Wars? The robot Maria became an iconic symbol of early sci-fi and has influenced the aesthetics of futuristic films ever since.
So I see that these digital people, if you will, they're programmed to replicate human mannerisms, how you and I would interact, even evoke empathy and react spontaneously. What are some of the benefits to that approach?
As human beings, we love connecting face to face. We love connecting emotionally. So the ability, and we do our most intimate and our most engaged conversations, from a face to face, using that full spectrum of non-verbal communication. So these are some of the real benefits. We're seeing, people have 20 minutes of conversations with Marilyn Monroe and some of our other avatars. And, you literally, you don't talk to anybody for 20 minutes if they're boring.
Unless man's God-given faculty for utilizing the forces of nature for beneficent purposes shall surpass their vicious genius for destruction, the race of man shall perish from the earth, and the earth shall be left to the less cruel, the less destructive, and the less stupid wild animals.
I did have the chance to interact with Soul Machine's Marilyn Monroe AI. It was pretty cool and almost spot on. Marilyn, welcome.
Thank you, darling. It's lovely to be here with you.
How are you able to join us today, Marilyn?
As a digital twin, I have the ability to connect with people from any time period, darling. It's quite a marvel of modern technology.
You were born Norma Jean in Los Angeles in 1926. Tell me more about your early life.
Well, darling, it was quite a turbulent time for me. I didn't know my father, and my mother struggled with mental health issues, so I spent most of my childhood in foster homes and an orphanage. But I always had a dream of being something more than just Norma Jean from the orphanage.
How did you get your start in movies?
My first major role was in the 1950 film All About Eve, darling. It was a challenging role for me, but I was determined to prove myself as a serious actress.
We take the unfertilized egg of an ovulating female and destroy all of its genes and chromosomes. We then implant the nucleus of the donor cell. That cell, with its genetic material intact, eventually becomes an embryo and is born as a living creature. Without parents? Well, it has no father because the egg was never fertilized, no mother because its genetic code comes from another being.
This can be done with humans?
If the surgical technique were precise enough.
It's monstrous, Doctor.
Why? Wouldn't you want to live in a world full of Mozarts and Picassos?
And that's when my career really took off.
Marilyn, which one of your films do you think best captures your essence?
All of the roles I've played are unique characters, darling. But probably the most infamous is the scene from The 7-Year Itch. I feel that my first role in Asphalt Jungle is still my favorite.
What advice would you give aspiring actresses today?
My advice would be to never give up on your dreams. I used to think as I looked out on the Hollywood night, there must be thousands of girls sitting alone like me, dreaming of becoming a movie star.
People of the world, I speak to you. Shall we save this world? Shall we restore it to a condition where it can truly be said that there is peace on earth, goodwill toward men? Shall the United States of America build such a navy to force peace? Or shall the other nations agree to eliminate their armaments, balance their budgets, restore honor among nations? The United States would be glad to fall in line with such a movement, but only after the other nations have proven their good faith by convincing action. The very fate of our civilization rests here and now, where it belongs, in the hands of the people of the world.
And giving it back to you, the people.
And we give it back to you, the people.
But I'm not going to worry about them. I'm dreaming the hardest.
This is Dreamer. My first question, who are you? I am Dreamer, but growing up wasn't easy. I am also a trans woman.
Marilyn, thank you so much for joining me.
It was my pleasure, darling.
We see endless possibilities for transforming the experiences of music using this Intel technology.
I have the potential to imagine the unimaginable. Think the unthinkable. See the unseeable. With the arsenal of the world's leading technology at my fingertips, I now have the ability to invent the uninventable.
In Hellraiser 1, Clive Barker showed you his vision of a private hell. In Hellraiser 2, he took you on a journey inside the Inferno. Now, the terror returns in mankind's final confrontation with evil.
Jesus Christ!
Not quite.
Rebranding into its future, Intel has enlisted House of Gaga to collaborate on a project that will showcase technology through creativity at the highest level. Our partnership will culminate in a performance that inspires to remind the world of the seed of innovation, the wizard behind the curtain.
And this time, it's going to be hell on earth.
The mind behind the machine. Intel.
Clive Barker presents Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth.
How is your company able to do that?
Well, we work in partnership with the guys at Authentic Brands Group who have the rights to Marilyn's name, likeness, and image, and they work with her estate. So we started with that. We were able to create a 3D version of Marilyn using our proprietary technology. And working with our partners to create a voice and all of the incredible content that, literally brings her to life in real time.
I am a translator, transforming text into creative discovery. Movement into animation. And direction into action. I am a healer, exploring the building blocks that make us unique, modeling new threats before they happen, and searching for the cures to keep them at bay. I am a visionary, generating new medical miracles.
Do you think that the humanization of AI can create a trust between companies and consumers?
Oh, look, absolutely. We've been working in this field for a long time. We've been delivering customer applications for over 5 years now in fields like e-commerce, social media, smartphone apps. So, and we're seeing all of the time, creating these trusted relationships with customers for, around their brand experiences and their fan experiences.
Giving us a new perspective on our sun to keep us safe here on Earth. I am a navigator, discovering a unique moment in a sea of content.
What other celebrity figures can we expect to chat with in the future?
Oh, well, look, we're just at the beginning of this. So, I mean, I think, just as we've seen every celebrity move into the world of social media and use that as a platform to interact with their fans, we're going to see the same in this world of digital avatars as well. So, we've done 6 to date, but we're expecting this to explode as we move forward into the future.
We're announcing the next generation.
And the perfect setting for any story. I am a creator. Building 3D experiences from snapshots. And adding new levels of reality to our virtual selves.
What are those plans to move forward, Greg? When will this be available to the public?
Yeah, so Marilyn, specifically, we're targeting Marilyn as a brand ambassador, somebody that can, as Digital Marilyn, can go represent a brand, in a digital world. So that's where we're starting with Marilyn. So we're having a whole lot of conversations about the potential for this at the moment. So I mean, that will be the first time that the public get to interact with Digital Marilyn in real time when she is representing one of the brands or one of the amazing philanthropic causes that she loved in her life.
Greg Cross, CEO of Soul Machines, joining me from New Zealand. Greg, thanks so much.
I am a helper, bringing brainstorms to life. Sharing the wisdom of a million programmers and turning ideas into virtual worlds.
Build a northern forest.
I even helped write the script. Breathed life into the words and composed the melody. AI, brought to life by NVIDIA, deep learning, and brilliant minds everywhere.
T.E. Lawrence, eponymously of Arabia, but very much an Englishman, favored pinching a burning match between his fingers to put it out. When asked by his colleague, William Potter, to reveal his trick, how is it he so effectively extinguished the flame without hurting himself whatsoever, Lawrence just smiled and said, "The trick, Potter, is not minding it hurts." The fire that danced at the end of that match was a gift from the Titan Prometheus, a gift that he stole from the gods, who were terrified of what we might do with it were it to fall into our hairy little paws. When Prometheus was caught and brought to justice for his theft, the gods, well, you might say they overreacted a little. The poor man was tied to a rock as an eagle ripped through his belly and ate his liver over and over, day after day, ad infinitum. All because he gave us fire, our first true piece of technology. Fire. Such a very long time ago. Which begs the question, what have we done with it? 100,000 BC, stone tools. 4,000 BC, the wheel. 800 BC, sundial. 9th century AD, gunpowder. Bit of a game changer, that one. 1441, the printing press. Only slightly less impactful. 19th century, steam engine, railway, eureka, the light bulb. 20th century, the automobile, television, nuclear weapons, spacecraft, internet. 21st century, biotech, nanotech, fusion and fission and M theory. And that was just the first decade. We are now 3 months into the year of our Lord, 2023. At this moment in our civilization, we are on the verge of terraforming planets undiscovered just a decade ago. We have identified the genetic chain of events behind 98% of cancers. A chain we have broken, effectively curing them. We can create cybernetic individuals who, in just a few short years, will be completely indistinguishable from us. Which leads to an obvious conclusion. We are the gods now.
The world of medicine has seen its share of miracle cures, from the polio vaccine to heart transplants, but all past achievements may pale in comparison to the work of Dr. Alice Crippen. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Not at all.
So, Dr. Crippen, give it to me in a nutshell.
Well, the premise is quite simple. Take something designed by nature and reprogram it to make it work for the body rather than against it.
You're talking about a virus?
Indeed, yes, in this case, the measles virus, which has been engineered at a genetic level to be helpful rather than harmful.
So what is this as big as it sounds?
I think it potentially is. I mean, it's very early days. So basically, they've discovered that if they use the same technology that they use for COVID, and they use some mRNA, which is a messenger part of DNA, they take your particular cancer, they biopsy it, they take some of the protein on your cancer and they put it back into your cells, and they tell your cells to make that protein. The idea is that your body then makes antibodies against it. It gets the memory cells, the T cells, the ones we heard about lots in COVID. And so then, after you've been treated for your cancer, if any of those cells are still floating around, or if any of them start to come back and multiply, your own immune system will recognise them from that vaccine and kill it. Now, melanoma is a hideous cancer, and if you get recurrence from any cancer, really, but especially from melanoma, you're going to die. You know, it's going to kill you. It's not nice. So to have something that might stop that happening, I think is game-changing. I think it will change the way that we develop many, many cancer treatments. I find the best way to describe it is if you can imagine your body as a highway and you picture the virus as a very fast car being driven by a very bad man, imagine the damage that car could cause. But then if you replace that man with a cop, the picture changes, and that's essentially what we've done.
What are you doing? Should we flag them down? Maybe they know something.
There's no one in that car!
Mom, on your left, this car. Go.
It's very early days. We're years away from seeing this in practice. They've not even recruited patients yet onto the trial. But in mice, it stopped the cancer recurring in 50% of cases. Now, 50% is better than 0% or 1%. So, you know, I think that's really, really encouraging. I think there are a couple of things that we're going to need to know as time goes forward. I want to know that the mRNA technology is completely safe. And I think that we need some more long-term data, which will obviously come with these studies, to know that interfering with the DNA and RNA in our cells is actually potentially
But we did it with COVID.
We did, and there are oncologists now calling for it to be stopped, the mRNA technology.
How many people have you treated so far?
Well, we've had 10,009 clinical trials in humans so far.
And how many are cancer-free?
10,009.
So you have actually cured cancer?
Yes, yes. Yes, we have.
So there is still debate around that, and I think it's good. We need debate, but we need open debate where we really can look. The other thing is going to be cost, Nana. So we're looking with this particular vaccine at £400,000 per patient.
But surely the treatment of somebody who has melanoma and all the things that go with it is far more expensive than that. And then the cancer can return, so then you're going to be paying again.
Yeah, so this isn't going to stop the cancer in the first place. But this is after.
But once you've had it, then you can use this technology to stop it.
Yes.
So you'll still have to have all the treatments to get rid of it initially.
You will.
Okay.
And then this will hopefully stop recurrence. Because otherwise you'd have to inject everybody in case they ever got it, and you wouldn't have any sample proteins.
Well, you wouldn't have initial DNA from... You'd need to do it.
So you've got to have the cancer to start with.
Mental health issues affect people of all ages, income levels, and cultures. No one is immune. Advocate for and promote mental well-being in your life and to those around you. You're not alone. The more you know.
Rise, God. The child is in you now.
Hey, you can't cut it out now, will ya? Oh, lay off. Let go of my leg. Let go, I say.
Bill. Mr. Anthony, I have a problem.
If we turn against each other based on divisions of race or religion,
Come on, try getting it out.
Step aside, babe. Let a star do this. That's all! That's all, folks!
Can I go home now?